Okay, so I had some pieces that were sort of started, but I'm going to start from scratch and show you too. But first, I'll just show you all the things I use. You don't need all of these things. You could have very few things. I just pulled out whatever it is that I use. I haven't done these in quite a while, but they're really fun. And I sold all of them that I had. So this gives me a chance to work on some of these. So this is what they look like. And like I said, we'll start from scratch and I'll build it up. But this is kind of what they look like. And then I start adding more details, like I cut a heart out. I add stickers, buttons, washi tape, um, stencils, anything. But these are sort of halfway there. So let's move those. But I wanted to show you what these are simply. If you like to do them, I just went to Home Depot and had the wood pieces cut. So this would be a 6-inch piece of wood. 6-inch usually measures out to 5.5 when you have, for some reason, the boards. So if I grab a 6-inch piece of pine, I have them cut it in 5.5-inch pieces so that I come out with squares. I do 8-inch ones as well, so they're wider. And then I would have them cut in 7.5-inch pieces and they were all squares. So it's a really inexpensive way. It gives you a nice chunky piece of wood. And I find the mixed media works really much better on the wood. You can do it on canvas too, but I like that it's not going to bow when I'm squeegeeing my papers on and things. And these were just panels I bought off of Amazon. These I paint on a lot, these cradled boards. I accidentally, that was a great price. Oh, it's funny how my screen is now up and down. Hang on, let's see if we can do that. Make it just go crossways, just so you can see more, but you'll see what I'm doing anyways, either way. It's so finicky, these, there we go, so finicky. And you are upside down now, but let's do this. Sorry, it's like being on a roller coaster. So anyways, I thought it was a great deal. I ordered like, I don't know, a dozen or so, whatever, 24 maybe, but of wood panels, but they're really thin. But I have had fun with them. I used one for my plein air painting the other day, and they're going to be great for this. So these wood, just if you were interested in wood cradle boards, I do buy them on Amazon, all different shapes and sizes. So you need just a surface to start with. I just layer on paper. I Mod Podge it on, and you can use, I have lots of scrapbook paper. I love these little books for these sorts of things too. They're just all different papers in these little chunky books. I have so much stacked around the table here because my table is not that as big as I wish. I use music. I find a couple of old, vintage stores. Anyway, you'll find this stuff. And then also old book pages. And a lot of times I pick and choose some of the bigger scrapbook papers if I like the pattern. So you could just use simply things out of magazines, pictures, things. I just happen to have some scrapbooking stuff, so I have those. I bought a couple of old books and things to use. That's what you see here. I tear it up and I just Mod Podge it on, which we'll do. Then you could grab whatever you might have. If you have any stencils, sometimes I'll just do a little corner of a stencil, usually something with a smaller pattern. Texture stuff, I use like a bit of a toilet paper roll, bubble wrap. This is a cool one. I just sponge the paint through it. Just weird little things for texture, sponges. These little things, I don't know what they were for, but I sometimes just paint on it and I use it as a stamp. Rubber stamps. Like I said, you don't have to have all of this stuff. You could just have a few little things, but it's a good way to use up some of the stuff that's around. And why don't I go on and start putting on some papers, and then I'll go into some of the little shapes that I use later. What do you think? Oh, my brother's walking his dog by. Oh, and here's Charlotte. Good.
I mean,
Oh, to Karen. This was going to be for a completely different project, and I ended up not doing it. So this already has just a piece of scrapbook paper Mod Podge to the whole thing. I generally don't do the whole thing, but you can. There's no right or wrong. There's a million ways to do different sorts of mixed media. Some people simply use just some for texture under a whole painting. They would just take a piece of tissue paper with the Mod Podge and Mod Podge it down so that when you paint your whole just ordinary painting, you have that little texture underneath. So mixed media can cover almost anything. It could be just if you're using watercolor and then you add, so, some cutouts on top or pastel or something, and you're using different mediums. They'll call it mixed media. I'm kind of using it just for these little papers and things. Charlotte, hello. Thanks for joining. So I'm going to use this just as if, because I want to use it up just as if it was blank almost. So I'm going to just put these in front of me. Why don't I go up a tiny bit on the camera? And literally just Mod Podge. I use an old brush. You're going to need an old brush. That's a brush for you. I wouldn't use, I'm talking to Natalie too. I would put all these backgrounds on, and then we're going to use this on top. So you're going to take little bits of paper. You can say, these are like for a little boat, but you're going to just take scraps of this. So I'm going to take some scraps. When I do the base coat, I just rip the paper and it's just scraps. And I'm just going to grab some. Just oh yeah, it is good. So I just have a bunch of odd things. Sometimes I find some cool old, this actually is a good one because the notes are so small and put together. So if you're out at the yard sales and the flea markets and whatnot, you can find some cool stuff. So I'm going to just cover these with Mod Podge, and then I'm going to, while it's wet, slap down just random, just pieces, I'll just tear a piece and put it here, and then maybe I would put a piece here without a rhyme or reason. But if you had some special book, special music, something with words you want to have in a place, you can. I pretty much just want it covered with some various papers and things. And I'm just going to grab, these are all scraps from other projects. So just to make it easy, I'm just going to grab these. And feel free to ask questions as we go. Has anyone done much of mixed media before, you guys? At all? Oh, am I muted again? For goodness sake.
You're just not very loud.
Oh, I saw the mute thing, but it's to my camera, which is good. All right. So I'm going to, you could even use a big sponge brush instead of this tiny one I'm using. Can you see the sponge brushes over there? Can you grab one? And grab one for yourself and just be careful of that cord. So it's just a layer of Mod Podge. You could also paint the background to start with and just put things glued down. That way you wouldn't have to cover every bit of the wood. We're going to use a sponge brush, and let's put some Mod Podge in a tray so we can get it a little easier.
I popped in a little late. What are we making?
Oh, we're doing some of the mixed media things. I have some that are started here, but then I put little shapes on and little sayings and things. If you saw them, they were in that little that little photo. I just don't have any of the finished ones because I kind of sold them all. So, what's nice is because you could put writing. I use my label maker. You could just write things, but if you put a cool quote or something that people really like, they seem to sell pretty good. So I'm going to do one with a mermaid and one with some birds and one with a sailboat. If I could find all my cutouts, which are in this, it's kind of hard. I wish I had a whole big table to spread out on, but with the cameras and everything, I'm kind of squished in a little spot here. So I will be hunting and looking for.
Cheryl, can we put wallpaper, hodgepodge on wallpaper?
Yep, anything, Gail, any kind of paper bits, ticket stubs, you name it, you could put on as part of your, because if you wanted to make something that was very meaningful, you could, for instance, if you went to a concert and you had the ticket stub, and then you found the music sheet from the band, and you could really personalize these things if you'd like as well. So I'm just going to start just putting them down. Sometimes I'll let things overhang and I'll just trim them with an X-Acto knife afterwards. And I will usually use, I don't think I have one handy, but kind of like a credit card as a squeegee. I don't know if I have anything here, but I do have some business cards. So Generally, I would use something as a squeegee, you know, just to get the bubbles out. And you'll see the bubbles forming after it starts, so. And then I'm just going to take little bits of, they can overlap, so if it's overlapping, I just sort of, you know, wherever it's gonna go down, I sort of put some Mod Podge, and then afterwards I do go over it again. And I shouldn't really be doing 3 at a time because it will dry. But you're gonna get the gist of it. Book pages I love to do. Probably isn't necessary to do 3 of them because I don't want you to have to sit through all that, but yep, keep the paint nice and the Mod Podge big and heavy, and now just stick them on, and you can use this like to squeegee it down. Charlotte, my niece is here, Natalie with me. You saw her picture from when we were plein air painting,
Uh-huh.
so.
Have you put up her finished painting yet?
Nope, she's still working on it. We're almost done.
Okay.
You doing it? Yeah, Tara, yep. And there's more here.
I
to
saw the
share.
beginnings of yours.
Yeah, and it was, you know, I took an awful lot of time just sort of getting that whole scene sort of sketched in the idea in my head. So there wasn't a lot of painting time, but what a cool place. I mean, it wouldn't be really ever I would never have thought to go inside like a manufacturing plant to paint, but it was pretty cool. So sometimes you can see I'm tearing, like I like the rough edges, but on the outside edge, I am using the straight edge. It doesn't matter though, because you can always just cut it off afterwards. But I do like when it has kind of a torn edge. And I'm just going to try to get these covered without thinking too much. And you don't have to think too much. But like I said, if you want to really personalize it, you certainly can do that. Sometimes I will do a kind of a theme. Like I know we're gonna do mermaids on, maybe we'll do mermaids on that. So maybe I just put this little bit with a mermaid on it.
I don't know if
actually, no.
anybody's mentioned it yet, but have y'all seen Michael's big 70% off canvases sale?
Yes, somebody said that, and that's when I buy my big canvases. I have already stocked up because I had it a few weeks back, but it's a great deal, you guys, for the big canvases. That's when I get my 24 by 24 and the 36 by 48, 70% off. And if you wait in a few weeks too, though, they have again, and they do buy one, get 2 free. I think it works out to be about the same, but it's a great time to stock up on any of those big canvases because they're expensive if you're buying them just singly.
I wanted some of the gallery wrap ones, and that'd be the only way.
Yes.
That was the only way I could afford to get them.
Yep, but you're gonna love them. I love the big heavy ones. I'm gonna open my window behind me, so just a second, because it's really cooling off out, but it's really warm in my little room under these lights.
Oh, I'm down.
Let me get some fresh air in here. Yeah, you could probably use those for your fair, Charlotte. For your, that's April, right?
The
Yeah.
the big show is in May
Okay.
18th. And then I
Well,
have a
that's plenty of
smaller one
time.
on April 27th.
Yeah, I applied for the big fine art fair that's here in Lakeland. That's quite a big deal. I don't think I'll get in. I don't know. But I find out tomorrow. So I'm kind of wondering how that's gonna play out.
Where's that?
It's right here in Lakeland, so that's why I couldn't pass it up. Which one, honey? Oh, this? I tore it though. But look at this, more here too. I'll put some here. This one has bikes on it too. I'm gonna take a little bit of that. Yeah, it's like one of the biggest ones in Florida and like one of the top rated ones in the country. So I really wasn't planning on doing much for fairs down here, but that little art walk I did was so fun. but you needed to submit your paintings, but also a booth photo, which my whole display that I use is up north, which I'm not even going to use much anymore because it's so big, it's hard to get in my car. I don't have my truck anymore. But I met a friend down here in the art association, and she says she's not ready to do it, so she lent me the whole setup, and I set it up in my yard, pretending like it was what my booth would look like. So we'll see what happens with that. There's so many cool scrapbook papers. Like these look like little book plates from the library. So, and you can see that even having little bits of wood showing through are not a big deal. And like I said, you could have even just painted the background. I don't worry about little ripples either. I do want to tear that off though. So let me, if you were doing just one, you might not have to keep wetting the Mod Podge, but as I build it up, I do need to put more on. I do love the torn paper look. So this one is pretty well covered. So let's just leave this. I will put a coat of Mod Podge maybe on the top a bit, seal it in. It dries really quick. And then I'm going to skip the big one for now because I don't want to have, we don't need to do 3 different things. And then we have this little one, just to finish up. We need just a little something over here. And I do think I overthink it sometimes because you could just be grabbing anything at random. Ooh, polka dots are always fun. Let's do some. Want some polka dots? Yeah, you can rip it up if you want. No, that's the only size I have. Oh, here's some smaller ones here. If you like those. Like I said, I haven't done this in a long while, but I've been wanting to get back at it. And I was going through my cabinets here and I found I did bring all of my mixed media stuff down. So I'm not even going to worry about that little bit showing. You can't even tell. And I do put washi tape around. So that's what we need. I'm going to leave that in water. It peels off afterwards. And then I will take my X-Acto knife and just trim the edge. You could even trim and use these little scraps if they were a little big for something as well. And that's not something you have to do now, but I'm so OCD about it. I kind of want to just have it done so I can see what that looks like. Okay, so there's my base. I just covered the bare wood with torn up bits of paper of different sorts. So let me move some of these now. It's going to take me like as long as we do our class tonight to clean my big disaster area up here. You could, and again, keep in mind the whole time, this, you don't have to do all of this. You can do a little bit, pick and choose. I'm going to go through the whole gamut just to show you what different things I do. So I'll show you a little bit of stenciling, a little bit of just mark making. And you don't have to make it just complicated though. But then I love, you know, I bought this little washi tape. I don't use washi tape for anything. I just couldn't resist the little bundle of it. Sometimes they do not stick real well, and then I will just Mod Podge them. Now, after that's dry, you can put some of this little tape on. So this is going to be the one I put the mermaid on. So I'm going to kind of use this teal color. You can almost see through it a little bit. And for now, I'll wrap it around the edge. I would just treat the edges later, maybe just paint them a solid color or something. And again, you could just, it's almost hard to like teach it because it's like you could just do whatever you want. So you could just take the mechanics of how I'm doing it and then whatever you like. This one's got a little bike on it, but this is going to actually have a boat on it later. So I think I'll just do, actually, no, see, it's got some pink up here. So let's do, this little washi tape looks like that. And I kind of don't want to cover up the whole little book plate thing. And I did find that these do need to be kind of Mod Podge down. So I will do that later. Okay, so then sometimes I do a little sponging or stenciling. I need a little paint for that. That's later. I'm gonna push this over here. And then I just grabbed a few colors, random. Of course, they seem to be the colors I like lately, but you could again pick out a color palette and have it all sort of planned out. I'm not a big planner of this sort of thing. So I might just, for instance, I kind of like the idea that we have some pink on here. I could, and it just take a little bit, you can't really see it, but it's just, I'm taking a little bit of paint on my sponge brush there. I'm taking most of it off. I have found with stenciling that if you do light coats, it doesn't get blobby. And I think in a couple of months, I'm going to do some stenciling projects, and I'll show you what I'm thinking after we get a little bit of this done.
Yeah.
You can't even hardly read it, but it's just, you know what, I'm building up texture, I guess. I like the texture that I get with things. You know, this one here could be some stars. So it's just little bits of. So this was kind of fun. Sometimes. Oh, here, move. You don't have to have it on your head. I'm baking my niece here with this big light over her. Here you go. There. So if you find any weird, odd bits of things, you know, sometimes it's fun just for whatever. It could just be. It's mostly texture stuff.
We like this.
I might not always put all of this on, but I'm showing it to you because because I have it all here.
Yeah, that should be great.
Sponges, you know, just a little sponge.
You can have mine, we like to wrap it, but. You already have. And then. Oh,
Stamps. I love rubber stamps sometimes because I do like to put little things on that might have meaning or might go with what I'm doing, or it could just be background stuff. So, let me see if I have any stamp pads here that are still good. And if you go into that scrapbooking aisle where the alcohol inks and things are in Michael's or the other craft stores, they have all sorts of little doodads that you can add, which I'm going to add some of those too. So let's just do a few stamps. I think my mermaid's going to cover that, but anyway. So stamps are another little thing you can add. You know, you can get like press on letters. Oh, bubble wrap would make a texture if you wanted to put it in the paint and make some textures. And love these little little sets you can buy at the craft store. So they have like, you could put a little person, you could, sometimes I cut the butterfly in half and use it for wings on a little, make an angel out of a little person. There's just all sorts of things that can be added as well. Yep, do that. Little stickers, little gemstones. I glue buttons on towards the end. I'm going to make my little phrases with the label maker, but you can also buy, there are little pads of paper that have little phrases and words, and you can kind of put them together, or you could use, you know, they sell these too. But I'm going to show you how I do it with the label maker too, so you can really personalize it. So here's pretty much the background. So I'm going to do one with, I do a little sailboat design, and then I put some little phrases. Let me see if I can't put my hands on my little mermaid that I cut out though. And my sailboat is here. So you can cut these sort of shapes out of paper if you want to. I cut them sometimes out of book pages. This is going to go off the edge, but I don't know, I might kind of like it. The bigger one, what I was going to do, you can cut them apart. Oh, cut them apart. That big one, mermaid one. This one here, when I'm done, what I'm going to do is I use, and I'll post some pictures. I have a finished one in a photo. I put the birds on it, and then I put little embellishments, and I put little hats that I cut out of craft paper on their heads, buttons, and then I put "We Are Family," so you could put as many little birds as you might have in your family. So let me see. My mermaid, I want to stand out from that background. And so I am going to, and actually spattering paint is fun too, but I'm going to put a little wash on top of there because I want it to be a little more blue. You will see everything through there, but I want to have a little bit of a wash so that my mermaid shows up. That's where I'm going to put her. I'm going to paint hair on her and whatnot. Sometimes I really keep layering. I might go on stencil on top too, but I just want to give a little bit of a background there. And here. And then I want to put like a little wave. That's going to be for our boat. I'm going to make those little sails a little smaller. I don't think if they were a stiffer paper or something, they might be good hanging off the edge, but I don't think that would work. Okay, so this is going to be my mermaid, and I cut a body out for her. So let's see if we can find it in the disaster area work table here. Here she is. So what I do when I want to use, make the same one over and over, I make a little pattern. I cut it out of just a Bristol paper, and this I just trace onto whatever I want to use. I have mermaids. I've done, maybe I can show you the iPad because I have my all the finished pieces on here, and that might be at least show you what I'm talking about. So for instance, that's what the boat one will look like. I come on and I paint little bits of things. I use my gel pens. That's the bird one there. For a mermaid, I think I thought this through a little more. I put little bits of scrapbook paper in the shape of waves that I layered on. The heart ones are fun. Oh, this was fun. So it's just a little heart out of the red paper, and I took the butterfly and cut it in half and made wings. And you can see here is where the toilet paper roll came in handy to make those shapes. That was kind of fun. So that's what that little shape is. Little stamps. Made little angels. So I would have a little body shape and out of tag paper or folder paper or Bristol, and I just use it as my little template. You could just save those. Oh, the umbrella one was always fun too. So it was just a template for the little umbrella, and then I painted the rest. And these little phrases are from the label maker. I don't know where my little toilet paper roll went. I don't know. So I just dip the end in paint, and then I would just maybe, you know, do some mark making with that. You need some more Mod Podge?
Oh, wait, no, wait, yes, I do.
Okay, here you go. You don't have much room to work there either, but you're doing a pretty good job. Wait till you see Natalie's. Okay. So I need more Mod Podge now to adhere these little guys on. And so there we have our little mermaid's tail. Oh, you know what? Silly me. I think I wanted to use the scale side, so let's redo that. Scale side. I have a little bit of red paint there, but we'll just put some glitter on it or something. Our little body. I'm just going to re-wet what I was working on there. And I'm going to use paint for her hair. I paint on, let me get the bigger one here. Copying. It's like a house of cards here. I want something dark, maybe just like black hair on her. Blonde hair, maybe. She'll look like a witch with black hair. And I just use the Sharpie to put features and things too. But let me get a brush for here. Not get the full on that one. And then I'm gonna kind of outline with a shadow here, just to define where she is, but I would just like put some hair on her. It does look like a bull. And then I will put, the hair kind of off in like a little wave. And then to make it stand out, you could see, well, you can't see because I'm looking at it, but I would outline her with the Sharpie maybe. I could even put a little wash around her so she stands out. I like the idea when I did the waves behind her, but I didn't really plan tonight which pieces I was going to really use. So. But then we could just use, we could just do something like this with some waves. And I'm going to just define her. I put a little bit of flesh color pink, but I can still see right through to the book pages, which is kind of what I really want to keep. I don't want to cover everything up with paint solid. Let's just get her little face filter. So I'm just going to take almost like a little light wash on top, just a little bit of flesh color. Little shiny. Well, you can start putting on some buttons if you want. You can draw something or paint something, or cut shapes out of other paper, or if you want to use like this to make a boat. Oh, and some of the tape. You didn't get any of the tape yet. You went some washi tape. Yeah. And I found a little seashell on my shelf, so I was going to glue that to her. Might be at the bottom of my pile here. Little, I paint little starfish sometimes. I might give her just a little bit of a rosy cheek. It's the case of the incredible shrinking table. Maybe just a little rosy cheek. When that dries, I'm just going to put little simple eyes on a little, for a little mouth, I just do almost like a little heart shape. Just a little heart shaped. And I will actually paint the eyes on, and I'll outline her with the Sharpie. So I'm going to start with just two little white circles, and then we'll give her some eyeballs. That brush is not my favorite.
I'm gonna try not to.
Yeah, you don't have to. You can paint on it or not. When that dries, I'm going to give her some blue eyes. I'm going to paint some little seashell. Oh, actually, stars. I did little starfish for her little, her little. And I'm going to just highlight those a little bit. And if I can find my seashell, we're going to put a little seashell.
Oh, be better.
I had some seashells up here, so we must have enough. Oh, I have a really tiny one we could put in her hair too. This little tiny seashell might be cool in her hair. This I'm going to need my glue gun for though. So let's plug it in now so it'll be ready after a while.
Yeah, I have a seashell that would be perfect.
Oh, go ahead and get it.
It's not really a seashell. I found it wrong.
you happened to bring it. Okay. Come on. I really don't do well without being organized. I'm not the most organized, but this is sort of chaos to me. I do a little bit of shading in her hand.
And I didn't bring it. I forgot that it was in my backpack for a really long time.
Oh, but you have it. Oh my God, it's nice. I'll show them. This is Natalie's little shell she happened to bring with her. I don't even know how she would not have lost that, but that's going to go.
'Cause it was just at the bottom of my backpack for like 3 months.
Um. You want to unmute yourself.
All the buttons on.
You can do that on your end. I feel like
Oh, could I have those too? Oh,
stamp.
this
And the stamp pad is somewhere here.
one definitely works.
Do you know what I do with the stamp? It's right. Oh, it's right here. All the colors. Just want to give a highlight to her hair a little bit.
Love that. I just like
Just stamp the top on where you want and then stamp it right on your piece.
oh,
Looking
so I
great.
can have different colors.
Yep, you can do whatever you want.
Oh. Can I have 2 colors? I could have 3.
You can do it. Yeah. I just need to give her a little highlight on her
Okay,
hair.
let's see. Yeah.
I sometimes put a little, little starfish in my hand over here. I do like my starfish.
What do I do when I don't?
Just stamp it on some paper towel a little bit. Guys, sometimes I just get a little texture, or I just kind of dab a little bit.
Yeah. Just go over there.
Help yourself to any of those buttons you want. Just putting a little black pupil in her eye and a little white highlight. I know it's teensy, but it does kind of finish her face off.
Look at that.
And you certainly don't have to get this detail on it. And just give light ones. I sometimes just outline a little bit so we can see where she is. And then I'm gonna glue the little shell there. Just watch out for the glue gun behind you. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna cover that little bit of red I got on there with one of the little quotes.
Do I glue these in?
Yes, I have to glue them on, so if you want to hand that to me, I can glue that. And I'm gonna outline the little shell starfish
Yellow.
here because I just need it. I'm gonna just shade around her to, with my pen. I'm gonna do it with a brush because the paint's a little wet and I'm gonna seize that up, but I would just do this with a marker though. I would just give them a little outline. She just shows out a little bit more. I'm not gonna outline every bit of her hair, but I just do little touches here and there. Okay, so she's got a lot of bits on her, but I like to put some buttons sometimes, and the little seashell. I'm just gonna use a glue gun for that.
I put a message. I put escape the journey.
Oh yeah, you can put whatever you want. Did you see the messages in here too?
I like
So
this
put
one
this
because
in.
they're like cut up
Oops.
and it looks.
A little seashell in her hair. We'll have her holding a seashell here. And let's add a button. Where are the buttons, Nat?
Right there.
Oh, right in front of me. We could add a cool button.
Hey, Willow wanted to say hello.
Oh, come on, Will. Oh, come, let me. Let me. I know. Wanna come? Hey, Bella, how are you tonight?
Good.
Hey,
This
Hey.
is my niece Natalie. She's 10. Do you see her there?
Mm-hmm.
How old are you again?
5, almost 6.
Oh, okay, cool. Well,
she
Natalie's
be,
gonna make a little creation and I'll have to post it so you can see it. And you
I'll-
should see how the.
I'll be 6 March the 29th.
Oh, your birthday's coming up. That's great. Go finish your thing if you want.
Mm-hmm.
so we're eating supper. She just wanted to say hey.
I'm glad to see you. I love it when you pop in, Willow. That's great. You
Mm-hmm.
have to try some mixed media one of these days. I can plug this in on that now. Like that.
Can I just tap this on this one?
Try it. You can do whatever you want to experiment. So I will trim these after I will paint the edge, but I'm going to get my label maker. Now, again, you don't have to, you could just take a little strip of white paper and write something. You could use so many of the little printed things they have, you could have just done something like that. But I want to show you how I do it with my label maker because it is kind of fun. And let me see what kind of a phrase we should use because I have a few different ones for mermaids. What should we put in there?
Is she the one that teaches you how to paint?
Well, this one is I'm doing this.
Do you want to do that one?
It's kind of a
Okay.
collage of things.
So I love my little label maker. And we are going to do okay.
I'm going to do that one. Mine, mo. That's a bubble fire top. Eeny, mini, miny, mo.
Okay, now I'm going to print out what I want on here. I'm going to do it all in caps. Don't wait for your ship to come in. Let's see if I spelled everything right. I know.
Way faster than a normal one.
Yeah. High tech. So I just print out my whatever it is I want. And it sticks because you can just peel the backing off. But I want to show you how I make it show up a little bit. Don't wait before. Oh, of course I didn't put the R on there. So hang on, let me quickly print out your.
Does it say you?
It says you.
Don't wait for you ship to come. Are you printing you or just all?
I'm printing the whole little beginning. Then I'll have to kind of piece it together. I'll just stick them on where you want. I'm really wanting to cover up that bit of red I had there, so that's gonna do that for me. Oh, I am gonna put some flowers on that to do that, show you that technique. So you could put them on, but it didn't look terribly finished to me like that. So I like to just take a flat brush and do a little wash of black around it, or Payne's gray. And it's very easy to slide it because it's a little dimensional. So I just kind of slide a little shadow around. Sometimes I might even go back with the Sharpie and kind of just do a loose line around it. Maybe do some little stitches like that. Looks like it's like holding the little label on there. That's just a brush with just a little water on it, and just dipping the corner into the black. So I just get a light wash. I don't want it to be a heavy outline. But you can see how it shows up a little more now. And if I lost any other little details, I could do the same thing. I could go around the mermaid with a little shadow if I needed to, you know, anywhere I thought I might need a little something. And now you could have that as done, or if you wanted to, you could, you know, paint some little fish swimming along. And this is just a quick little coat. You see the purple through it. It's just almost.
I
like
like your painting.
Thank you, Willow. What have you been painting lately? Have you been painting something fun?
No, I've been painting
What is-
lots of things, but it's not that very good. I've been trying my best, but I
That's
have
all
to
As long as you have
have
fun doing
them
it.
draw
that's what-
flowers.
She likes to paint flowers.
Well, and it's gonna be spring, so this is the perfect thing to be painting, right? So here's where I am at with this little one. You could go ahead and put some glitter. Do we have the glitter out here? Is it on there? So I would maybe put a little glitter on here. You could just keep going, or you could just.
It's gonna be so pretty.
So that's the Little Mermaid. Now, I was going to do a little bit of a boat on here, but what else could we do? You know what, I think I will just use some of these pieces instead of the boat because they kind of have a bike on there, and I don't know if it would go with the boat. Oh, good. We'll get some glitter here, so we'll do some glitter next.
Is the glue ready?
Yes. Do you want, let me glue them on for you. There they are. Okay, we're gonna glue some buttons here. This is Natalie's piece. Look at how cool that looks. Escape the journey.
Can it go down?
What's that, honey? I love the purple button.
We were trying to adjust my camera where she could see herself.
Oh, this is Natalie's little piece she's working on. There you go. Oh, the other one looks good too. All right. So I think we're just going to use some
They
random.
probably don't want to
You've
watch
got
you
little
eat.
dogs, whatever you can make a little saying with. Let's do the heart on this one, actually. A little hearty. Let me just cut one out. Could be in a solid color. It could be. I want something a little solid. Let's use this. Hearts are super simple because I just sort of, well, actually, sometimes I just cut them out. Let's just see how close we come to. You could use bits of ribbon and fabric too, I suppose. I want that little bit of gold.
Why does it look like a window's there? And I have a party hat on.
What looks like what? Party hat? Because I'm thinking party hats would be cute on things. I did that on the little birds. Put like, you could do something and put like little birthday hats on them. Let me get my Mod Podge back. And sometimes I'll put it right on the back of the piece or, and the, what it's sticking to. Yeah, I like the way that little bit of, tiny bit of gold matches our little gold heart there, so this might be a good little, theme to go with. And these little guys are super fun. Oh, you know what? We could do the wings like we did on the other one. We've got a butterfly there. I'm going to look for a butterfly that might match the color. Oh, this one maybe a little better. Yeah, I think that one will work. So we're going to make those into wings. And we can tuck them right underneath here.
Yes, and we put, you can put,
You can put, you want some of these to look at to glue in there maybe if you want? Take a look at those. We have another tin of other things. Oh, this was the little thing I was talking about that I got at Michael's, which has all little words. You could just, and they stick, so you could just make up little sayings. It's kind of like those little magnet sets you find for the fridge. They had them in the dark. And you could just use those for phrases and things. I think I'm gonna put a piece of washi tape across the top there, because since we have these dark wings, let's get maybe something a little darker on the top. Maybe a little better. It's more like just playing, really.
look at the one side.
Oh, you know, I can draw these up too, because you could use these little dimensional paints for things. Yep, they're right there. Those would be kind of fun. I like the little iridescent ones. Or, you know, you could,
Oh, found red.
actually, what you could do on this one is make little, make the little scales a little dimensional.
Up there is.
You know, it might be fun to kind of do just with some texture. I just like to have some texture on there too. A little 3D. Kind of fun. They have, I'm not crazy about the solid white as much as like the iridescent, because it's not as heavy. So if you wanted to do like some little strands of hair, maybe some gold actually. Have a metallic gold for that? We do somewhere.
Remember metallic gold or like?
Oh, I have it right here.
Oh, that's gold? It just
Yeah.
looks tan.
I know it's gold though. You know, so you can.
It's tear stuff.
Oh, I kind of went right into her hair is in her eyes.
Yeah.
We will just remove that.
It's just a bit windy, guys. No, nothing bad is happening. This part is like,
Maybe another little button. Well, it would be great if we had a little tiny starfish to maybe put them on down here or something else dimensional. Let me see with my little seashell. I have some sea glass.
this is like a metallic blue.
Let's see. Oh, we could maybe put a little piece of sea glass there. What do you think?
I think it's stuck on my end. I mean, on y'all's end, the
What's that?
video.
Is it what? Is it kind of blurry or?
Mine's working fine, Cheryl.
Okay, I know everyone's been so quiet tonight. I'm like, oh God, you're all there, I hope. So, oh, Charlotte maybe had to pop back out again. So I don't know, I kind of like a little bit of sea glass. So now you can kind of keep your eyes open for all kinds of little bits and pieces of things that you can use. What should we write on this? Choose happiness. Let's see if we have something on that dimensional letters. Where's that little bag of dimensional words? Over here. What do you need? There is iridescence. And you want the gold? Of course. I knew you would want the gold. Let's see if we can find something in here to put on that would maybe go with the part. Oh, it could be like believe in yourself.
Look at all that glue that I was just.
A bunch of things, a bunch of little just quotes and things. Believe in yourself. Ooh, we have to do this one. Trust your heart, right? So that we will have to glue on with our glue gun because that's really kind of a heavy piece of cardboard. Look at me not burning my fingers because that's usually my thing. Like there I go. All right, this one probably needs some buttons too now. I would say that's a little bit tough because it has that little hook thing on the back. Red. Too red. Something pinkish. Yeah, I think I need some new buttons, some more buttons. I don't want to dump them out either. Oh, you know what? That's kind of a cool, like iridescent. Oh, there's a good pink one. Let's use the pink one. All right, we'll leave the glue gun again.
Nothing.
Oh, did you fix it? You could get a little or something. All right, so
Ah,
painting things. I was gonna say, because I like to paint a little bit sometimes. Not a big, huge thing, but sometimes I'll just make little bits of a flower showing through. So, for instance, just to fill up that heart was kind of bugging me that it was sort of blah. So I would just do like a half of a flower on the little heart. And then when it's dry, I will take a little bit of the Sharpie and maybe outline. Actually, that needs
I'm
full
sorry,
color.
I got kicked off a couple times.
I know. Was it something your internet maybe or something? I'm just kind of fooling around anyway. It's not like anything earth shattering, but oh, I went and put I put waves on this one. That was maybe going to be my thing, but see, it doesn't really matter because it's just squiggles and whatnot. You know, I just sometimes put like a little bit of a flower peeking around the corner. This kind of brings in that teal that's up there. Will it come out? Oh, we should do some of those. You could even do that. You could use a little.
There it is.
We could outline a little bit. That's well, but anywhere. These are kind of cool little things you don't.
Like I'm doing the white with the white, the white, the blue, the blue, the blue.
You're being much more careful than me. I'm just doing it. I'm not worried about matching. Sure. I know you do.
I'm just gonna put it in.
Oh, can I borrow a little tiny touch of gold there? Oh, we'll get the glitter out. We'll just need the glitter. Oh, we need a little something here, maybe. Same thing, just a few little bits of the white. Just felt like that little heart was a bit low.
That emotion is anything.
You thought so? Oh, you're done with that.
I'm done with it.
Okay, I forget now what I was actually going to do with it. Oh, I'm gonna make the center of this flower out of that. Maybe I'll just do a little dot here.
I need what? No, we need a black. Found it.
And
Right,
I love my
you
little
had-
spirals.
I accidentally cut out the E. and
Oops,
skate,
well,
and
that's-
now it looks
that's-
like a scapular.
That was,
A scapular journey.
yeah, I don't know if I love that, but it's okay. I always do some other dots. It's kind of blobby, this one. Now, you know, I love this Twinkles glitter stuff. And that would be fun around somewhere. You can almost line up a bunch of these and just kind of go at it, have them all lined up, do a bunch at once. I love this glitter because it just sort of dries. It dries clear, but leaves the glitter. I would almost do it maybe on her tail, but it's going to take a while for that puff paint kind of to dry. So I'm going to just do it over where the waves are maybe. And just for fun, I think I might do it on the heart here, the glitter. Carefully going around my little flowers because those are still wet. I don't think, because this is so dimensional, that I need to outline it with the wash. It could be, and maybe I'll look at it later. I could almost outline the little heart, wings there maybe. I may give a little outline to those daisies just to make them pop a little bit. Again, this is also if you could do with your Posca markers or your Sharpies, but where I'm working kind of into that wet paint, I don't really want to introduce the Sharpie yet.
Found the gold cap.
So that's just kind of a fun little, I thought it would be fun to share this little method. If you look back into the previous lessons, we did a Valentine's Day one that was just 4 little canvases and LOVE letter cut out on each one. And I believe that is in the group. We did it for Valentine's Day, but if you just search love or mixed media, that might come up. I would trim my edges when I'm done. I would paint my edges probably just a dark or corresponding color. I would put a layer of varnish or Mod Podge over the whole thing when it's good and dry. But just something a little different. Be kind of fun. What do you guys think? Have you, I know I asked earlier, but I don't know if anybody's done much with mixed media. Have you at all, or have any interest in doing
I
it?
really have not. I mean, I've done a couple of things and like my butterfly painting, and I put a little metal butterfly on it after I had painted some on, but that's about as much as I've done on mixed media.
And you could just take your regular painting if you have a little more whimsical or kind of a funky little fun painting, and you could start gluing things on. Lisa, I'm looking at your piece there. It's amazing. Wow, that's so cool.
Thank you so much.
They're going to have the Art Association's having a junk journaling class next month, which I'm going to go and do, which will be kind of fun. My friend Michelle, you've seen me on with her. She does a lot of this mixed media and a lot of journals and bookmaking and all that sort of thing, which is very cool. My friend Bev as well does a lot of this. So I sort of kind of put my own spin on it. But I think it's fun to just kind of see different techniques. That's what I'm going to try to do every month, just something a little different. I have something I'm going to try. I forget what I put down for next month, but so in May, let me see if I can get these out here. Cindy, are you still on with us? Yes, Cindy knows, some of you might be aware of Donna Dewberry, who is the one-stroke teacher who, you know, developed the whole one-stroke method of painting. You've seen me do flowers and things. Well, she, in the decorative art field, decorative painting field, is like one of the founders. She's just been around forever. She had her own show on what was it? Remind me, Cindy. She had her own program, but what was it on?
I first saw her when she was on QVC.
Let's see. Yep, and
But
she
I
works
think
on
she
art,
was
though.
she was on a craft show before that.
Yep. It was funny because she was just telling a story. So she happens to live about an hour away, and she does a class every Tuesday, and she's so fun. But never mind that, she's constant. She's on YouTube, Patreon. She has something going on all the time, all different memberships, and always painting, and she's a go-getter, but she is a hoot. She's so funny. So we're doing this big painting the last week, and you know, a lot of people having trouble. It was a big, I'll show it to you when I kind of put my spin on it. Actually, no, it's right here, but I'll put my spin on it. You saw it, Cindy, I think. So it was a big canvas.
It's beautiful, Cheryl.
I know, but I think I have to kind of like do a few things, but so many people were, on the class, and they're all regulars. These are ladies that have been coming to her for probably 20 years or more. They are like diehards, and they're like, oh, well, you know what? Why can't I get mine to look like yours? And she goes, because I'm Donna Dewberry, so she's so funny. She was talking about how once when the kids had something on, they brought a TV into the classroom and they were probably going to watch some event or something, and the TV turned on and it was on, what was it on her show? So Amanda said, that's my mom. And they were like, yeah, no one would believe her. And then they came on, she said, Donna Dewberry. And of course, Amanda's last name is Dewberry. So it was kind of cute. But she does a lot with stencils and not as just stencil, but as, well, I'm going to do some with just like almost a tone on tone, a softer background with just a light stencil in the background with the floral painted on top. But she's got some great stencils. Like this one here is, you could use it almost just as a tracer, or you could stencil the bottles and you can arrange them any way you want into like little still lifes and then paint them from there. But it's a nice little way to just get all your bottles. And she, you can extend them. Like if you want this as a tall mason jar, you just kind of extend it out. She's got a great little cabin, long design that it's not like stenciling like we used to do with just like the welcome signs and things. It's a little stencil, then you paint on top of it. So you stenciled in the little house and the little post fence, and then you're just going to add your details on top. It really is kind of a quicker way and a cool look. So I'm going to get some of her stencils to do that with. And I thought we would do May, maybe kind of do a little bit like this, very lightly in the background with a floral or something painted on top is going to be kind of cool. So I'm not using the stencil as like the stencil design so much as a starting point or a background thing. So I got those from her, and we'll be doing something with those too. But if you look her up she does wonderful one-stroke lessons. These are some of her little practice sheets, which is a great idea because they are on a coated paper and you could practice right on top of them. So just to learn, and this Cindy is all old hat to you, I'm sure, but you guys, if you have more interest in the one stroke method, look her up because she's really cool and she does so many interesting things.
And I
What's that?
think one of the things about her technique is that it takes tons of practice, just practice and practice. And many years ago, she came to Massachusetts, and I was certified by her as one of her instructors when she only had the one level. She didn't have all the elite and all those things yet.
Right.
So I think it was I'm trying to remember, I think it was in Peabody. And she herself was there to certify us, and it was a 3-day class. And she was amazing, but it was the year anniversary of her daughter's passing.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, she was so heartbroken, but she was so interesting because she used to go into people's homes and do murals and do borders and things.
It's amazing her background.
And
What?
she actually had trouble standing for any length of time because from all the years of being on a ladder and
gosh, yeah.
and doing the
She's
borders
amazing
around
to me.
people's rooms and things. She was fascinating and so
Back in the day,
kind.
like, back in the day when it was like that, when was I teaching? I had like a little decorative painting studio in a retail shop, and that was back in the late 70s and late 70s, early 80s. And I used to go to conventions and everything. But it's so funny how it's sort of it's coming back a little bit. There's still a lot of people that do it, but the decorative painting, it just ties in with what I do and just painting as well. And I've done a couple of little videos of just some quick one stroke flowers, and sometimes it's fun just to get together and just like practice all the brush strokes. But yeah, so she's still doing the certification, but she's got so many people that are certified and are certifying others, I think now, right? I never really went through that program, but
Yeah, she's built quite a business from that because there was only one level when I started, and then now she has so many different levels to go. And she didn't have that big company that she has in Florida now or anything.
Yeah,
She
she
was,
works for Plaid still, so she does a lot for them.
yeah.
I think when she's at the convention, she's kind of demoing all their products and whatnot.
The painting that I just posted, the Peaceful Garden one on your site, was a class of hers.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
take a
and
look.
it was but it was very easy, but she's so mothering when she's teaching in real life to you, you know,
Yeah.
she'll come along and pat you on the shoulder and
And she's like, you can teach these, you know, if you come to my classes, you can teach, you know, I'm not going to take her exact designs and teach them, but she's just so many ideas that it's not like I go and you know, am learning a ton, but I just love the camaraderie of it and just all the other ladies I enjoy so much. And she has a fella now that my friend Michelle just sent me something today. She said, I think George is part of the family now because she gave me a snapshot of her live today, and she'll go on live. Donna will with Amanda, the daughter, and there's George in the background. So there's this guy that came to the Christmas party, and he's been in a couple classes, and he's, you know, I think he might be working for a certification. I'm not, but it's like this little manly man guy, and he's painting the roses, and he does pinstriping and automobile detail, you know, pinstriping. He's amazing. And
oh
so then
wow.
he paints, so he'll paint the roses and all that on a surfboard or a big round piece of wood. Then he puts a resin on it. So it's you know, resin layers. It is as smooth and like glass on top of it. And he'll pinstripe around his flowers or around her pieces. So he's from like DC or somewhere, but he's here now all the time. Every time I go up there, he's there. And there he was on the live today. So it's kind of funny. But if you go to her page, you will see some of his pieces. And he had a bunch of his pinstriping guys, these big burly Harley kind of guys, all came up and you know, they paint the gas tanks of the motorcycles and all this, and they were all at Donna's shop like painting. It was really kind of cool. So anyway, yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with her, you might like to look her up, and she's kind of a character. And I just am thrilled that she's like right nearby, which is funny because I've been out of touch of the decorative painting world for a while. So there's so many of them that are still around, I suppose, or not. But here she is. So when I can, it's an hour drive. I'd love to go every week, but it's just a long drive. So maybe I can go once a month or something just to take the class and be not the teacher sometimes. That's kind of cool too. So yeah.
It was funny when I did the certification, you know, when they don't tell you right away, so you're waiting for it because it wasn't online back then. So every day I'd
Right.
stop at the post office to see if I had gotten mine yet, and the girls at the post office would be like, "Not yet, not yet."
Oh, that's funny.
So when I finally got it, and I was teaching painting, and they said, "We're gonna sign up because you worked so hard to get it."
Oh, that's great. And did they? Did they come into
Yep,
your class?
yep,
Oh, I
they
love
stayed
it.
with me for a couple of years.
Wow, that's great. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
it was fun, but it was she was so compassionate and just such a lovely person.
Yep. Yeah. She really is. I mean, it's just like she's got this core group of ladies, and I'm sure she's got a million other things going on. I don't think she has to really be there for this little class, but I think it just like is become her little family, you know. One woman came a few weeks ago, and I think she lost her husband like days before, but she's like, but I had to come, you know. She was just such a warm, loving little atmosphere. I don't know how to describe it, but it made me think, wow, the people are so comfortable here that this is where she comes, you know, right after, like her family. So it's just I can't describe it, but it's a great little group. Yeah.
And it was amazing to hear her, you know, because she had 6 children, and
No.
that's how she started. She couldn't afford the teachers' gifts and all the, you know, gifts that she had to have for all her kids' stuff. And that's how she started painting at her
I
kitchen
didn't
table
realize
after
that.
they went to bed.
Wow. Yeah, some great stories.
Yeah.
Natalie, let's see yours. Let's see what you came up with. Let's see Natalie's pieces. And she's never done this before. And look at these cool things she's done.
My other one
Oh, you
isn't-
Oh, how
can and
cute.
emoji smile. Those are great little
This
quotes.
one is definitely not done.
That's okay. They'll probably take till tomorrow to dry. Oh, look at this one. Oh, I like the gold dots in your little buttonholes, and I like your little X's and hearts. Nice. Oh, and you put an E up here for escape. Yeah. Good job.
Is that your niece down there with you?
Oh, we can fix it. What's that?
Is your niece doing that with you?
Yeah, she was sitting here with me. She didn't really get. She was just kind of following along with what I was doing. I didn't have to really even help her. So she's very creative. She's got a little table in the other room where she's making cards. And what else have we done? She went plein air painting, making cards. Oh, we didn't have a shirt for St. Patrick's Day, so she made shirts. Made a shirt. Oh, we didn't put Woody didn't try his on yet. Oh, I forgot. My husband. She made one for my husband, but it was wet, so we had it in the car to dry. We will go get that, and we can get a picture of that of the two of them, and I'll post that of them wearing their shirts. She's very creative. She's been doing all kinds of cool things.
I know she's having a blast.
I think we're going to go to the zoo tomorrow, perhaps, or at least this week sometime. And she loves animals, so that we'll take some pictures and then you could paint some of the animals. How's that sound? You could do it.
I can't.
You painted that great bunny the other day. Yeah. Anyways, any questions at all about this technique? It's nothing that's earth shattering, but if you want to try it, I'd love to see what you come up with.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't done any of that.
It's kind of like I have a lot of stuff out here, but really you could just have one little, you don't even need a stencil. You could just find little things to make marks with, a little sponge, scrap paper. It doesn't have to even be scrapbook. Just kind of
Mhm.
I just like the idea to be able to put the quotes on them. That's what kind of sells them, I think, too, most of the time. If they have a quote that people kind of relate to or has to do with their hobbies or whatever. Yeah. So I am going to next get that owl recording done for you, and that will come out for Monday. And then I can't even believe we're looking at the end of, it'll be March will be over and it'll be April. It's
Are you
crazy.
going to do a craft around the clock this week?
I am. You know what, Charlotte? I feel awful. I think I had one. I think I was supposed to be on Thursday. I'm used to my Mondays, and I forget what happened. What happened? I signed up for Thursday, and then I went to Orlando, took myself to Epcot for the day, waiting for Natalie to get out of school, and then picked her up. And we had a 2-hour drive because of the traffic to go to an art opening of a friend.
Yeah, but also took 2 hours because we were there.
Yes. And so I completely forgot about my segment. So I am signed up for Wednesday this week.
Wednesday?
Yes, I believe it's Wednesday.
Okay.
Sure, I just put it on my calendar. And the little app we sign up on has been kind of glitchy lately. Usually it adds it right to my calendar. 10:45 on Wednesday, I'm going to be. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Maybe since all this stuff is dragged out, but this will be kind of tough to do in 45 minutes. I'll figure out something, I guess. It's
What
always
time did you say?
10:45 my time, so you're different. You're what, an
Oh,
hour later?
okay. 9:45 mine.
Early. Okay.
Where is she?
Okay.
Alabama.
I looked for it this morning, but I didn't see it anywhere, so I figured
I
you were on a
know.
different
And I
day.
kind of realized it this morning. I'm like, why don't I have one today? Oh, and then I realized I had one last week on the Thursday. And then I had the Friday bucket thing, so that kind of threw me off because Fridays are special theme days. We can sign up for one, and if there's openings, we can sign up for others. And I had not even seen the new calendar come out, so I just scheduled Wednesdays this morning and next week's, which is going to be on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you ever have any thoughts for what I should do, it's always a mystery to me until it's time, pretty much. But I don't know if I want to do another Easter thing. I might just do something else.
I'm getting getting some good canvases in so I can try to get some stuff painted for my art
think-
show in May.
I think I'm going to do for next month maybe a big floral, kind of like just a big close up. I want to do the sea turtles too, though, maybe. And I know we are going to do the plein air piece with that everyone seemed to like. That was the little path. I will
Mhm.
replicate that into a painting because that was a lot of people have asked, so I'll do that.
Now, Cheryl, the
Wow.
floral one, is that the painterly one?
Which one?
The floral?
I haven't even done it yet, but you know what? That's right. Cindy asked about, and I was gonna get a picture. I have two big, huge floral pieces hanging at the recreation center. And I have not gotten there to get, you know what? We'll go, Natalie, we'll go over and we can look, I'll show her the paintings
When?
and we'll take pictures. Maybe Wednesday. And I'll get the pictures of them and figure out when those come down. I was just kind of thinking of maybe some sort of big oversized flower too, kind of a little like more of a peony or something than the one I did with Donna's class, but all just thoughts. I just kind of keep jotting down notes for the future months, but I think for spring we could do some more florals, I think. So anyway, next few weeks I will firm up what we're gonna do in April.
Well, I gotta run, girls. I got a couple
Okay,
things I gotta
we're all
attend to
gonna
before
wrap it up, but
bedtime.
it was good to see you. I will see you on my craft around the clock segment, I'm sure. And
Okay, huh?
any questions about this? Send me a message, and if you do anything, post it. I'd love to see it. So that is it for
Well,
tonight.
y'all have a good night.
Yep,
It
you
was
guys
fun.
too.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Cindy. Thanks, Lisa, for being here. I appreciate it. Nice to
Thank
see
you.
Okay. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.